Hello, everyone in Facebook land and all over the world watching, tuning in with us tonight. This is the Rabbi and the Mayor. So great to be back. We've had such great feedback, Ben, from our first episode. Just hundreds of people tuned in, just enjoyed the message that we shared about football and life, and really just the inspiration that you shared with us. So we figured, to our audience out there, we thought we'd come back for you, give you a little Monday night version. And we're delighted to have you. Thank you for being here, Ben. It's great.
I'm so stoked to be back. I don't think I've ever had an audience this large before, Danny. Geez, your audience is massive, and it's quite something to think about.
Yeah, no, it's incredible. We're streaming to Facebook. We're streaming to YouTube. We're all over the internet right now. It's just crazy. But,
oh my gosh.
But Ben,
okay.
I got to ask you something, Ben. Can you just tell us how does it feel having football back? Just walk us through that for a moment, if you would.
Oh my gosh, it feels amazing. I mean, there's just something about when the calendar turns to September and the temperature drops and football is back and it's the high holiday season. There's just, I don't know, there's just something in the air. It's just really incredible. And I was just thinking, this is the start of the 101st NFL season and the 151st college season. If you count college and NFL as two different seasons, that's 250 seasons that already exist. So in theory, we don't really actually need any more football. If we did like a Daf Yomi thing where we just like watch a game a day for the rest of our life, that would last us like the entire rest of our lives. So in theory, we don't really need new football. We could just tell them to save the trouble, but there's just something about having new games, live games, where it's just really special. And these past few weeks, this has been the Hebrew month of Elul, right? Yeah. And this is just a really special time where we're supposed to meditate and prepare this month for emotionally and spiritually for the upcoming season of football. And we're supposed to think about our fantasy lineups and who we want to cheer for and how the Broncos are going to do. And so it's just really, this month of Elul is really a magical time. And incidentally, it also coincides with the start of the high holidays. Did you know that, Danny?
I was going to ask you, as a matter of fact, now that you mention it, what am I supposed to do on Sunday? Okay, I'll be in synagogue, the holiest day of the year, one of them, Rosh Hashanah, with no access to my fantasy lineup. I can't check what's going on until Sunday night, until maybe midway through the Sunday night football game. Like, what is a guy supposed to do? Like, how do you handle it? Do I just pray? Like, God, please forgive me. Please give me a pass. Give me life this year. And please, God, let this team win. Like, please. Is that what you recommend, or what would you say?
That's an interesting dilemma because both kickoff and the high holidays wait for no one. So what do we do when they conflict? That is a tough question, actually. I think my advice would be to set your lineup and then pray that no one gets injured. And then that you come out on the other side with a victory. On the high holidays, in theory, you're not supposed to lose if you're observing high holidays or Shabbos even. You're not supposed to be able to lose. You're not supposed to be any worse off. So I'm not sure, but how that's going to work out, because I guess half the people will be, but it won't be because you're not tending to the lineup. So I think maybe there's a high holiday pass, perhaps.
Okay, I like that. Thank you. Beautiful. Thank you for that inspiration about Elul and football. Very heartwarming. Okay, Ben, I got to ask you. I got to update our viewers out there. This week, and currently you're ahead 105. Okay, I don't know. I just went out for a minute there. 105 to 59 year win. Here we are on Monday night. What do I need to do? What would you recommend I do? What do I need to do to battle back and possibly win this thing tonight?
Well, let's see. Looks like you have one player who's playing tonight. In particular, it's Stephen Gostkowski, your kicker. So I would say you need Gostkowski, your kicker, to score about 46 fantasy points. So hope he kicks a ridiculous number of field goals, or that he basically also plays quarterback, running back, and wide receiver and has basically the greatest fantasy game of all time. Any of those scenarios would get you a victory tonight.
Okay. Solid logic. Maybe that's in the card. We will see. Okay, beautiful. Thank you for that. That's yeah. I gotta hope for the best for my man Steven. Just go out and play the game of his kicking life. Okay, amazing.
Yeah. But it's pretty amazing for us to be playing again this week 1. But it's like last year I lost 7 times, and there's no joy in winning this week. Why can't it? If I have to lose, I would want it to be against you. But I think we play again later in the season too.
I'll get you. And you did offer a couple nights ago to trade your whole roster for mine. I wanted to see is that still on the table at this point?
Is that still on the table? Let me think about that. Let me think about that for maybe another few more days, and then I'll have my people then call your people, and just like kind of the reverse of last week about our people talking about it. So we'll see. We'll get the valuations. We'll get the balls rolling on that. Yeah.
You know how to find me. Okay, have your people talk to my people. I like what you said. Okay, beautiful. Now, Ben, I was reviewing last week. Not last week. I was reviewing the transcript. From the last episode. I was really inspired by a number of things that you mentioned, and I quote the following. You mentioned last week, quote, "Fantasy football gives us a way to be champions in life. It changes the very trajectory of your life." I want to let you know that really struck a chord with me. I've been thinking a lot about that these last few days.
Yeah, I mean, it does, in general, because, most things, unless you're a professional athlete or just a champion at life in general, there's not really that path to being a champion. And, but when you can be, well, that's what this league provides. And especially in our league too, it's, the stakes are especially high because we're playing not only to be champions, but, because of our league, Pro, we're playing for the right to remain in the running for being Moshiach or the Messiah. And, it raises the stakes tremendously. It really is a tremendous amount of pressure that so much of the outcome of the world depends on our league. So yeah, it is quite daunting when you think about it. And I just try not to think about it. I should clarify. I mean, let me be clear. The reward, the prize for winning our league is not that you get to be Moshiach. I want to make that clear. I don't think we have that. I don't think you have that ability to grant that. Do you, Danny?
No,
yeah,
sure don't.
Right. It's just that if you don't win our league, then you're eliminated from contention of being Moshiach, because if you think about it, it kind of makes sense, right? If you're going to do all the things that Moshiach is going to do, if you're going to revive all the people who have passed on to the next world, if you're going to rebuild the temple, if you're going to, affect the massive world change that being Moshiach does, it doesn't make sense you're going to do all that and yet somehow fail to win our Pro Fantasy League. That just doesn't make sense. It makes no logical sense, right? You won't be able to do all that and like, oh gosh, that Pro Fantasy League, that was a doozy, right? That's just not going to happen. So if you win it, you're still in the running, and if not, then you're out. And it's just a lot of pressure because, at least I don't know about you, but I don't know if I'm ready to live in a world where I'm definitively not the Moshiach. I don't know. Are you, Danny?
Listen, I've already been eliminated. I don't descend from the Davidic chain. I'm a Levi, so I'm out already, win or lose. But for all of you non-Levium or non-Kohanim out there, I hear. I mean, this would be yet another disqualifying factor, as the Rambam codifies in the book of Kings, chapter 10, where he discusses this explicitly.
Nice. And so maybe then that could be the prize for our league. If you win, if you're not a Levi, you get to become one.
We can't bestow the Levitic chain upon people either. You're either born with it or you're not. And
you don't wait. You don't have that power as commissioner.
I wish I did, but some things are even beyond the commission's control. You believe that or not?
Well, okay. Well, you can only do what you can do. But I mean, ultimately,
very bad news, my friend. Yeah.
Ultimately, if we had all the Jew Pro leagues have like a worldwide competition, and there was just like a worldwide league, interestingly enough, whoever would win that league.
You're right. By definition, they really would be in the running for Mashiach.
They might be it. They might be, unless Mashiach, unless they didn't participate. But they would definitely still be in the running. But so, Matamize, the stakes are really high this year, Danny, especially with everything going on. So, yeah, it's a lot of pressure. How are you doing in your? How was your weekend? I understand you're in multiple leagues.
Yeah, Ben, I'm sorry you asked that question. It's embarrassing. I must confess, I am down in 3 of my 4 leagues. The 4th one, there's a good chance I will lose by the end. I'm down by a sum total of 147 points across those 3 leagues. That's 147 points. And I'm not quite sure where to go from here, to be honest. I mean, it's embarrassing. It's depressing. It's like, what do you do? Where does one go from here?
I don't know. I mean, I would say it might be time to have a fire sale, a Florida Marlins style fire sale. You sell all your best player assets to the teams that won this weekend that are still in the running. So, that's one idea. Could just be time to throw in the towel, or not, as we'll get to later. But but that is that's tough. And you're playing your students, right? I mean, you have to at least defeat your students, right?
Yeah, you would think so, Ben. But in that league, I'm down. I think I'm down by 90 at the present moment. 90 points in that league.
Oh wow. Okay. Well, this could, if it turns out you are still in the running for the Mashiach at year's end, this would be an incredible tale of perseverance. But yeah. So let me get this straight. So you're in multiple leagues. So you're essentially polylegous, if you will.
Yeah.
What is that experience like? Being in your multiple leagues at once.
Last night, I thought I was rooting for Dak. Dak was playing for me last night, Dak Prescott, and the other league was against me. So is he with me or is he against me? Do I root for him or not root for him? Just filled with contradictions and worries. And I'm thinking, what am I doing here? It's hard enough to juggle 1 league, let alone 2 leagues, let alone 3 leagues, let alone 4 leagues, Ben. So the polygiousness of my fantasy football experience is not good. Biggie himself said, Biggie Smalls famously said, quoting a Mishnah in Pirkei Avos, "Mo money, mo problems. Mo leagues, mo worries, mo problems." It doesn't do anyone any good having all these leagues. I do not recommend it. I am struggling mightily, as you can see, in this experience.
Yeah, I hear you. That's why I made a decision to pour all my focus and all my attention and my passion trying to conquer our 1 league. I've decided to live a monolegous lifestyle. I want to put everything I have into winning our championship and remaining in the running to be Moshiach. But hey, if you're gonna live that polylegous fantasy lifestyle, hey, who am I to judge? To each their own. It's all good. But I imagine, do you ever find yourself, how should I put it, say rooting for the wrong player?
Yeah, I do. Like I said, I think I'm rooting for, like I said last night, rooting for Dak Prescott. But then I'm like, wait, no, he's not.
It's hard to keep track. Yeah, it's
hard to juggle all the players. Understand question is confusing, and I don't think anybody need like a chart, to just keep track of who should I be cheering for, who should I be booing. I don't know. It's just too much.
Yeah. And how does that work? So to remain in the running for Mashiach, then do you have to win all 4 leagues, or only one league?
That's a good question. Again, were I not to be a Levi, it'd be more of a question.
Right.
I don't know.
Right.
I think it's probably just.
So in other words, it doesn't in your league it doesn't matter. But that's another thing. That's a halachic question that for anyone who does live a polylegous lifestyle would have to answer if they are pursuing this
sure
price.
It's only the Jew Pro League where it's the possibility of someone's in the running.
Oh, good. Okay. Well, then I joined the right league then. Apart from being a Levi, but otherwise the right league. So okay. So that's okay. Yeah. So that's if we win. Okay. Maybe we should talk about if you finish last place, right? If you win the so-called it's known as the Sacco Trophy generally. What are the consequences of finishing last in our league?
Yeah, I'm glad you asked because the Rambam discusses this as well. I'll just read you the words inside. I have here my iPad. I have the Rambam on my iPad. He says, Asur lebayesh kol adam zekumo hariga. It's forbidden to humiliate anybody because it's akin to murder. It's basically like killing someone if you embarrass someone.
Right.
Rambam makes one critical distinction. Chutz misha'avad halig shel fantasy football. That's the person who loses his fantasy football league. So what the Rambam is saying here is, in general, it would be murderous to humiliate somebody in public. It's one exception to the person who loses that league. You lose the fantasy football league, your protection against humiliation are limited. You are permitted to be scorned and made fun of.
Yeah, and that makes complete sense, and it makes sense. I can understand why the halacha would be that way. The Rambam was wise enough to foresee that because it would make it very difficult to truly give the last place finisher his or her due. So that actually does make complete sense, and I believe there was a caveat about that in the Clean Speech Colorado campaign. About that does not apply if you finish in last place, dead last in your league.
I believe I'm slotted to actually give a full class on that exact topic.
Is that right?
Wow. Yeah.
Nice. So, stay tuned for that.
Yeah.
So
100%.
Yeah.
Amazing.
So all right. So now we turn away from fantasy right now to now we've had an incredible first opening NFL Sunday. Football is back, and now here we are for the dessert of the football week 1, which is our Broncos kicking off tonight. How are you feeling about that emotionally for tonight's matchup? How are you feeling for tonight's game?
I'm more stoked than a Cole for this game. I've been waiting for this game since the end of last season for several months. I've been sitting, in March in the lockdown, just awaiting this moment. This is the moment I've been waiting really for the longest time. I made a declaration in the early days of the quarantine like, please, God, whatever happens, like, just make sure that I think I went on record just saying, like, if this had to happen, obviously it's terrible. It's no joking matter, but it had to happen. Like, the fact that it was like basketball and hockey that was going to get kind of maybe set aside and not football meant a lot to me. So I noticed that and I was grateful for that. I'll be totally honest with you. So I'm very excited. I think the Broncos, we're going to see great things from them. And I think, I'd be interested to get your take. Yeah, I know both on, this upcoming Broncos season. And yeah, maybe we should make our predictions for their record and of course the game tonight. I think that's what everyone's been waiting for.
Oh, right. Well, okay. Why don't we start? Should I start my predictions for this season?
I think so. Start with this season and then end with our. Good. By the way, we're tied in our predictions for this season. We guessed Thursday night. We both were correct. So let's see if we make it 2 for 2.
All right. Yeah. Close enough to being correct, more or less. Yeah. Within 8 points, all right. Well, this season, this is going to be a challenging season for the Broncos. And they were already in for a tough season, being in the same division as the Chiefs. And then they lose Von Miller on top of it. Looks like for the season, right?
It is for the season. And my sources are telling me that Cortland Sutton, I believe, is out tonight as well.
Oh, my goodness. Well, I have a note of positivity that the Broncos will not be derailed on their quest towards mediocrity. Even without Von Miller and without Cortland Sutton, they will still finish 8-8 or thereabouts and miss the playoffs. But it will be a tremendous feat for them to nonetheless finish so, and it will be that much harder for them to do so.
Wow. So what's the score tonight?
Oh, boy. Well, tonight's game. Okay. So, I'll give a little background. Right now, as you know, the Tennessee Titans, last year, right, they were really bad last year, right? Both teams, the Broncos were also pretty bad, but last year, the Broncos played the Titans, right? They ended up playing, and the Broncos ended up winning 16-0, shutting them out and dropping the Titans to 2-4. That is not the team that is playing the Broncos tonight, because as you know, and I think you'll get into, after that, the Titans became a completely different team. It was like they completely transformed after that loss to the Broncos. They replaced their quarterback, they put in Ryan Tannehill, and they ended up going, 7-3 the rest of the way. And then, as you saw, they shocked everyone. They shocked the New England Patriots. They shocked the Baltimore Ravens, and they hung with the Kansas City Chiefs in the AFC title game. This Titans team is, I believe, that Titans team that finished the season, not the one that played the Broncos. And on top of all that, you take the team from last year, they basically remained intact, and they added Jadeveon Clowney. So you take last year's Final Four team, you add Jadeveon Clowney, and I think it adds up to not too pretty an outcome for the Broncos. So I am unfortunately going to predict Titans. I'm going to say 31-17 Titans. What do you got? What you got for the season and for tonight?
Okay, I got 10-6 on the season. Last 3 or 4 years, I've been very down on the Broncos. Actually, I was very excited. I listened to the radio all summer. They're all hyped up, all excited. This year's going to be different. This is going to be different. It was never different. It was never different, And that's disappointed me every time. But it's been never different until this, 5 games left in this past season when mighty Drew Luck came to the helm. Drew Luck, who led the Broncos to a 4-1 finish. His only loss in the snow, a blizzard, a winter wonderland, that was Kansas City. That was his only loss. The other were 4 W's, victories. W for win, V for victory. That's Drew Luck. That's their quarterback. They're tremendously with a slew of talented young receivers tonight will be led by Jerry Jeudy, wears a Star of David around his neck because his last name is Judy, which sounds like Jew. They are going to be tremendous. They upgraded the defense. Yes, Vaughn is out, but Jarrell Casey, formerly of the Titans, is now on our team. Big-time Pro Bowler, and we will win tonight. We got the crowd on our side and home field advantage in Denver. The crowd
the massive crowd that's going to be there today.
Behind me, the crowd is already ready to rock. It will be hard for any of the Titans to hear when they're on offense. They're going to be gasping for air at our mile-high altitude, and we will come out victorious 27-17. The Broncos, in every opening game when it was in a nightcap game, they're 11-5. 11-5 opening up their season in the evenings. It was about to be 12-5. We are not losing 10-6 this season, and we're making the playoffs. Thank you very much.
Let's hope you're right. I got my Bronco blue on. So
Good. I definitely disagree. I think you're wrong on this one, but I love you anyway. Okay, so I think that is about it. Just the last segment of the evening. I know we're trying to get back to the football game, the second half here of the first game, the night. But what you said earlier about it's a very important life lesson that we learned from the Titans of last year, who went 2-4, suffering an 0-16 defeat to the Broncos, and then they turned it around all the way almost to the Super Bowl. They really should have gone to the Super Bowl. And that's such an important lesson for life. We see this from my Denver Nuggets, who I've counted out more times than I can count to be honest with you, this playoff series. The Nuggets down 3-1 in two series when there's no life. They look dead, and they never gave up. They battled back, and I think that's an important lesson for life. Now, or Rosh Hashanah, sometimes, it's been a tough year, 2020. Sometimes we're down, we're confused, we don't know what's up. But never give up, never lose hope. Always believe in yourself and keep fighting like the Nuggets did, like the Titans did. Rally around, what you have. Work on yourself and never give up, and you can really thrive and make a huge leap in life, like we saw with the Titans, and we're seeing with the Nuggets. So that should do it, I believe. Yes, for our Rabbi. Football with the Rabbi and the Mayor. Thank you all for tuning in. All of you, many, many people out there. We appreciate your time. And good to see y'all. Go Broncos. And Ben, I'm excited to hear from you after my prediction is correct and yours is wrong. Again, I'm going 27-17. You're going 31-17 Titans. I'm going 27-17 Broncos.
We'll see, but I'll still be rooting for the Broncos and for Stephen Gostkowski to get those 46 points for you. So, but that really is so true. How the Titans or Nuggets are modeling, how we can be these high holidays. So it's been a pleasure, and go Broncos.
Go Broncos. So see ya. Take